scout it again. And here comes CML trying to bait. Tino waiting in the wings. They reveal that Tino is here and they're just trying to mess with Raven. Out come the axes to slow him down. CML, he's been successful in his attempt to bait in Raven. The last axe will come through, but with the boss slowing down CML, he's not getting out of this one either. First blood drawn, but Zhao will get a return kill on this Tinker.
Definitely better for the troll here, getting the first blood. Troll is going to be really, really happy in this lane. A little bit of a faster, stat items coming to the lane, faster phase boots. Because I would say this is the crucial lane, because against Beastmaster, you do not want the Beastmaster to ever get a good start. So I think with the current setup, it's already a good matchup for Troll. And if the Troll gets first blood, I expect the Beast to struggle even more here in this particular lane. So I think this is going to be really, really good for Execration.
Yeah. I especially like how they sent Tino to be part of that kill, because Lord knows the Spirit Breaker level 1 ain't doing shit. You got the God's Rebuke, you got a nice slow, you got good damage. You're right, the moves are evolving at this level 1, whether we see full teams trying to contest a Treant Protector, having his trees cut down, or whether it's some sort of advanced smoke wraparound play. Didn't even catch who got what bounty rune. I think it ended up being 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Should be quite a bit of harass going both ways. This is like one of the most value magic stick lanes we've seen in a hot minute. All the Skywrath Mage spells and all the axes non-stop.
I mean, mid lane should be also quite a fun lane. I think this lane, it should be DK favored. Like they're gonna be both trying to just last hit. I don't expect the kills to be happening, but it should be DK favored if I'm not wrong. You get to stun and deny creep, so you have some advantage there. And Spectre, I mean, until as old as time, you always lose your lane as Spectre.
Yeah, that's not looking too hard for Mr. 23.
Yeah, nowadays you can actually, I think, have a better experience in the laning phase because of the phylactery. You get a ring to help you in the laning phase, the perseverance. A lot of players are going that route at the moment. Where is he going? He's queuing. Yeah, he has Philac queued up. Philac into Radiance. Seems like this is the go-to build right now.
Yeah, it's the build that they've gone for. Shanks with a very nice bash. I'm sure Zhao's a bit frustrated about that one, but nothing you can do. That's a Spirit Breaker. Now, Joe come a little bit out of position. He'll get slowed down by the AA and the Troll, but should have the move speed to just walk on out of there. They're not going to let 23 get that Lotus for free, but meanwhile, Raven already getting a nice position in the pool, so...
That is huge. That could be a lifesaver for him. But Troll is still having the time of his life. 20 CS to 4 denies. Beast is only half of it, 10 and 1. So this is kind of what we expected in this matchup. And not to mention the Troll has first blood, right? So it's going to further increase his advantage in this lane. I mean, laning phase wise, it's going well for here.
Yeah, Jokum's just dead, I think. Last hit. Oh, can't get the move speed. Nice try there. He tried to switch stances to give him the additional melee move speed. It didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I actually just realized the Mars is not really getting a lot of last hits here on the off lane. It's only 6 and 4, despite like pressuring the Spectre. Spectre has actually more CS. Yeah, I guess that's a big wave under the tower. He's going to have another wave coming in. Should be fine.
Yeah, they did a lot of weird creep pulling shenanigans with the Tinker and the Spirit Breaker, so as a result, the Mars lane has been suffering. Zhao has had access to both this small and hard camp, so he's just been making the most out of it.
Yeah. He's also one of the better supports to get levels on, right? So if you get into a situation like this, not Jokem. Jokem's definitely not the one that's happy at the moment.
Lord, no. This is more like it, right? I think in the previous games, we see the last picks, we're like, oh, that was the last pick hero, doesn't really feel like it. But now you see this troll, you're like, yup, that's the 24 troll right there. What was that about?
His job is to win the lane and enable the A. I think later in the game, maybe he will have some problems getting kited by all the tiny, the toss, the Beastmaster roll and everything. I mean, I don't expect the troll to like solo carry the game, you know. This is not that type of pick. It's mainly for the lane.
Poor CML. That was bound to happen.
I mean, they've already gotten, I think, as much as they can out of this Beastmaster lane. I think overall they are very happy. I mean, the next thing to look at is like the DK. Like when you get level 6, can they use this advantage from the side lanes, the trolls lanes especially, to just snowball and get all the outer towers and take control of the map? Because you have to try to stop the Beastmaster from clearing his jungle stacks, you know, if possible. I mean, they're trying entirely to just ruin Raven, you know. I really like this.
Not entirely successful though.
Yeah, but still a lot of pressure. You know, now he can't farm the lane. He's gotten kicked out, and they're leaving to control the 6-minute rule. Bob's level 6. They're moving to mid lane. The pressure the tower with teleport. I think the moves kind of all make a lot of sense, you know, for Execration.
Rune will be in the top lane. Unfortunate there for Mr. Bob, but Mac will net himself a nice shield rune.
Yeah, that was actually really unlucky. If the DK gets a rune there, this is going to be like a lot of damage onto the tower.
Yeah.
That is the slowest bull I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's courier has been killed.
It's been a while, yeah, since that change. Maybe 1.5, 2 years ago, where you take some time to get up to your move speed.
Radiant
1.5
Concussive
seconds.
shot, of course, not helping that regard.
Yeah. Nope.
So what's the plan here? Raven obviously is eating shit a little bit in this lane. Do you need to maybe bring some attention over here to stop
It's
Palos
Mac.
from dominating?
It's just Mac, you know. If he can move, he'll move. But right now he can't move because it's a DK. I think this is why DK is really good into teams that rely on the mid laner to move a lot. Because you make them sit in the lane. Because you're hitting the tower.
Actually, that's a really good point. We've seen time and time again, Nemesis, the way that they draft relies solely on Mac to be the space maker, especially in the early stage of the game. But because Execration are so brazenly picking this mid DK, Mac cannot go anywhere. And when Mac's not going anywhere, Nemesis don't go anywhere.
Yeah, this could be something that was really thought, you know, of, you know, before they picked the DK mid. Because they pick it really early. And also they realized that Tino shouldn't be the one playing DK, I am sure.
Alright. I mean, in this particular case, I think they probably also had that same idea in the game that Tino was playing the DK, because they also picked the DK really early, and it was just like perhaps a Bob call to ask for the Queen of Pain at the end there. Just to dominate Mac. But I think they realized they need more than just to kill Mac once or twice, because he'll still find his way to make things happen on the map.
Yeah, he's definitely figured that out. No more switching heroes, no more flexing. Just give him the hero, and Mac on the other hand gets the second rune. Shield rune and AD rune.
Nice arena in the top lane. Punishing 23 Savage. Nowhere to run, charge in, and a nice victory feast. Execration, they're eating good in this game number 4 for now.
Taking control of the map, abusing the weak lanes, the Spectre lane, and the Beastmaster not having a good start. I mean, Mac got all the runes here, but he's just unable to move, you know? Or he doesn't want to move. I think he should... Maybe he should just leave the Tinker in the lane and just go and do something, or jungle, so he's off the map.
Doesn't this remind you of the game where Bob was playing the Queen of Pain? Bob ends up getting all the runes, but it ends up being Mac that's making the moves instead. Same kind of scenes here where the DK is the one taking advantage of his strong side lanes.
Radiant's bottom tower.
23 wants action to happen somewhere else, right? He wants to use that on, he just doesn't have a chance.
But if the Tiny is not moving, then what is going to happen? I think nothing.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
great question.
If Tiny is sitting and farming, then who's supposed to do something, you know? Like the Tinker can't do it. The Scarab alone can't do it. Because the Beastmaster is low, it's not level 6 yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think Execration, they've identified in this early game, they've taken all the steps to make it so that Nemesis are just straight up in jail. Your only options were either for Mac to make a movement, or if this Beastmaster is strong, maybe he takes a tier 1, maybe he gets good item timings, but you screw over Raven's game completely, and then Mac is left with no one to play with.
I mean, this is the problem with Tinker support. When the early game doesn't go well, what do? You know? You can only farm. And you're another baggage to the team, you know, as a Tinker support.
Maybe you're hoping for a point in the game where you can actually farm up and get towards those items, but that's so far away for Zhao.
But somebody has to do something, right? The Tiny has to go somewhere and do something. So for the first time, he's not getting the rune, and I hope that kind of makes him go somewhere to do something, you know, because he picked up both previous runes, but he didn't do anything.
23 might be dead to this haste rune from Bob. You need TPs and you need them fast, but an Arena comes out quick. The spear there to follow up, and even the ultimate from Shanks just to further put 23 in the dirt. Looking at a Battle Fury, but at this rate, he's not going to get it anytime soon.
Gotta move, Tiny. You gotta move, man. Game's not going well.
I mean, if this is really what was...
Did they lose the shrine? It's level 4 on Skymage? Or maybe the Beastmaster took the shrine. So one of the supports didn't get the XP. It must have been that.
No, Jokum actually took the Shrine of Wisdom.
What the hell? How is he so low level?
Yeah, what? Has he just spent so much time giving Raven solo EXP? I mean, now they're making a gank over to Palos deep in the jungle. This could be good. Just need to get the silence off before his ult comes out. I don't even think he has a point. Oh, the avalanche off the mark. The haunt is in though, and 23 will be able to net himself a very, very nice kill. Ice Blast stopping that TP with the spear. It's perfect. Skyref Mage will just have to leave Mac behind. So you asked Mac to move. Mac moved, but now Mac is going to crumble into little bits into the ground. Nice kill there. Raven can't help.
Space. That was good for them. Good for Nemesis. Spectre got a kill. They got out. Throws dead. I don't think you can ask anything more than this, you know, given the situation.
Yeah. And he did that without a Blink Dagger as well, right? He just walked in with...
Yeah. Now he has to do it again. I think he just has to keep doing this. He can't actually sit and farm his dagger. I think it would be really, really bad for the state of the game if he does that.
Ruh-roh. Zhao in trouble. Rooted up. Nice play from Palos there to recognize he could get that done.
Yep. Dispels the laser. Instant kill.
Yeah, just like that. Back on track for the Battle Fury. Not even slowed down one bit. Top CS, top net worth in the game.
Bob is here now with the Ice Blast and dagger. Raven or Raven?
You see him in the tree line. Awkward position though. Need to guess right. Jumping forward. Ice Blast is there. The lineup is perfect. Start to do damage onto CML though. Looks like it'll be a trade. The move speed there from the Raw will not save him from the charge though. Shanks is right there to finish the job. Get the creeps as well.
Yeah, overall very nicely done by Execration. Immediately taking advantage of the dagger from Bob. Getting, again, another key kill on Beastmaster. Mac is like, I have to farm my dagger. He's like, I'm done. You know?
There's no point running in there. I mean, at least they get the kill onto CML, right? That's something. Shanks trying for the setup there. Should be an easy spear and kill. Here comes Zhao, Raven, and Mac though, ready to try and capitalize, but Shanks, he's a bit too quick. They make that look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, if the Tiny is farming stacks, nobody's gonna be doing anything. So you're gonna lose heroes on the map. And he's gonna have his dagger soon. 30 seconds. Actually, he has it now.
Mid lane being pressured up by Palos though.
This is really, really bad, you know. Like, by trying to farm the dagger, he's gonna lose his tier 1 tower in mid.
No choice though, he might lose more. Lots of magic damage coming out onto Bob. He blinks forward, but regrets it just a little bit. At least hangs on to his life. There's just not enough firepower on the side of Nemesis to take down Bob.
Execration just been playing really, really wonderful as a unit. Like every single move they make has a lot of purpose. They're having the right heroes, moving with the right heroes on the right section of the map, going for the important targets. Just creating space for one another and enabling one another, you know. It's very nice to watch. Nemesis, they have to kind of string together some moves with the Tiny right now after he gets his dagger. There is no other way. They need to stop the bleeding. They need to make their opponents bleed.
This is the last chance for them to do so. If not, their shot at DreamLeague Season 28's main event is going to slip away before their eyes after a long and grueling run in the lower bracket. 80-minute games, 70-minute games. Nemesis, they managed to come out on top 2-0 after 2-0. against difficult opponents, and they've really leveled up. This team, they've come out of difficult situations before on the back of Mac, but again, every time we cast a Nemesis game, you find yourself saying the same thing. It's just so much for Mac to try and pull off.
Yeah, the side lanes has just gone to to the dumpster. You know, I think it was really smart that they just picked something to win the lane with the troll,
Dire
and then they utilize this SB charging around, upsetting the balance of the lane, and then the DK to force Mac to sit in the middle lane. I think it's a pretty well thought out strategy.
Yeah. Specifically catered to their opponents. Charge on forward. Ice Blast there as well. Just trying to bully this Spectre. Shanks will run for the hills, but maybe a bit too deep. A commitment in from both supports, trying to punish the carry of Nemesis, but this time round they'll give over some much needed gold to 23 instead.
Yeah, just lacking a little bit of damage, you know. Maybe if CML is nearer and he can cast his Vortex, they would have enough, you know, to kill him. I think they probably would have enough if he can cast his Vortex. Jocam trying to just play some wards. I think maybe he was spotted. The pinging. Yeah, he was definitely spotted.
CML is dead here. Easy Mystic Flare, but manages to get himself out of the area. In comes 23. Haunt in, haunting out. Understands that Mac is gone for, and Bob will blink forward looking for more. Needs range for a stun. Used it a bit earlier. Jokum being charged down though, so there's no real escape for this Skywrath Mage. Looks like they're trying to TP in to try and help him out perhaps. 2 more seconds until the blink. Bob, waiting for it. We'll find him. The vision from the charge, like I said. No way out for the Skywrath Mage, even with the help of the Tinker.
And Bob is going armlet. He's going for the scaling. And he knows this game is going to be very, very stable for the next couple of minutes, you know. They have a lot of space and he just needs to farm the space. He used the dagger to create the map advantage, the space, and now he's going to use the armor to farm everything up.
Yeah, y'all can't see Winter right now, but let me just tell you, he has a big-ass smile on his face because Bob's going the right DK item build. No Yules in the quick buy, no Pike, no whatever the hell, no Orchid even. Just clean, standard. Arbet like some might say.
I am pretty sure you can't see me.
You panicked for a moment, right? You thought maybe you had your camera on somewhere. I've worked with you long enough, I know how to... I know how to poke.
You got me worried for 1 second.
Yeah, no,
Like, how the hell?
5k gold lead for Execration as they continue to exert their dominance around the map. This could be a big kill onto Palos though, but just not enough magic damage. Now Palos will turn around and perhaps put the axes out onto Jokum. Thinks twice about it though. They don't want to commit with the threat of the Haunt. They're not entirely sure about that cooldown. Of course, we know it's still 80 seconds. It's a very, very long cooldown ultimate.
I think it was a very good play though, no matter what. Maybe they could kill the Sky, but no point taking the risk backing off.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of discipline there after surviving the initial gang and to just back off, even though there seems to be an extra kill that you can get, you know. I like that. I like the way the troll just immediately just backed off. He didn't even think about trying to kill the Sky.
Yeah.
Because the SB definitely thought of it. He stopped and he wanted to cast his ultimate.
This is the key difference that sets the, I guess, weaker Southeast Asian teams apart from the better ones, right? We've seen a bit of an evolution in terms of discipline, moving away from that, let's go get all these kills, to understanding we don't need to do that at the moment. We're playing for an objective, we're playing for a timing. The next one we're probably looking at for Execration is this 20-minute Tormentor that's coming up in just a bit.
Yeah, this is a spot that they have to really fight, you know. You have Helm of the Overlord on the Beastmaster. You definitely cannot just give another objective away, you know. They have to fight.
Yeah. Some key items coming up for the Nemesis side as well. Holy Locket complete for the Tinker. You've had your Blink on Mac for quite a while now. Those are the big ones. Of course, 23. Whether or not he wants to participate is up to him. He has that Battle Fury, so he's farming away. But Execration, wasting no time. They're into the Roche Pit. They know that there's no contest. Because Nemesis, they're busy grouping up around the bot lane for some reason.
I think they kind of just have nowhere else to go, and they have to be ready to to go over to the Tormentor. I guess that's probably the reason why they're doing this. Because the Spectre is using the top section, right? So the Beastmaster has to be in the bottom section, and the rest can't really stay at mid because of the threat of a SB charge with Ice Blast. So you can't really stay there. Only Tinker can stay there. So the other two heroes has to be hiding near the Beastmaster. I think that's probably the logic.
Immediate
Okay,
charge,
that was
but way
quick.
too quick is 23.
Where-
Where's he
where-
gone now?
where?
Straight to Shanks.
Where?
Where the hell is he? What?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, okay.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He's
Okay,
just
I
gone
have an
sh-
idea about what happened.
He just gone straight to the grave. Did he like just...
No, so I think what he did is that as soon as he got ganked, right, the Spirit Breaker started charging him, but then he jaunted to the illusion that was left behind in the Spirit Breaker. So the Spirit Breaker was near bot. He jaunted to the illusion, but because Spirit Breaker had already started charging him, we saw Spirit Breaker turn around, U-turn halfway. At that point, the Ice Blast already landed on him. So then he just dies to the damage from the Spirit Breaker. So that's my deduction of what happened. If we had a replay or anything, we'd be able to find out. But whatever the case is, 23 does get caught by a great attempt there from Execration. And because of that, free Tormentor.
That's probably how he died, I think. There's no other explanation. It looked weird, but I think that's probably the only explanation.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out why the hell the Spirit Breaker U-turned halfway. It must have been because he came from the bot lane. What's going on here? There's a little courier hiding in the tree line that Kino just immediately pokes down.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Battle Fury, SNY, Aegis. By the time the Aegis is out, he's gonna have a BKB fresh. You got a 21-minute Wizzy Shrine. Everything's looking so nice for Execration, and they're not even gonna let Jokum get this wisdom.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This map split is just so nice from them, right? Like, the Spirit Breaker being the one to TP means that he can clear the waves on his way. He knows he can connect to the fight if need be. And right now, I feel like Execration are making a very educated guess that Nemesis just want no part of this. Palos is gonna start beating on your high ground just to mess with you, force you to come back, force a glyph.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Look at where the rest of Execration are. They're just piss chilling on the other side of the map looking for a target.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They can only try to find some scraps around the map. It's so difficult, you know. Like, you have a Spectre, but the Spectre, there's no place for him to find a kill. Wait, Hon. This is like the worst possible Spectre game. Like, whenever you play this hero, you don't even care if your lane is bad, you know. You want your teammates to have a lane and have a game so that you can have someone to haunt to get kills, you know. But right now, he's only using them to escape, and if your Beastmaster is dying, I think pretty much the game is just over. There's no anchor on the map for the Tiny and the Spectre to gank to.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
why
your
this-
Beastmaster is left trying to farm Ancients right now.
Right, that's why the troll pick was very, very good. They realized they only need a pick to win the lane and enable the AA. They don't need a hero to win the game, you know, like, because troll gets kited by a number of the heroes on their team.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And
Hard
that's
to
it.
really kite Troll as a tier 3 tower though, because you can't really go anywhere, so
This is it.
Dire's bottom tower.
seems that way. 8 more seconds until Raven's back in the fray. The high ground defense on paper should be pretty decent for a Tinker lineup. They're putting out a lot of magic damage onto Palos, but Bob's already gotten himself a kill.
Dire's bottom barracks
Charge coming
is
in.
fallen.
Looking at Mac for now, the cold feet's gonna proc, but they realize they don't need to force it. Execration are playing with the type of discipline that tells you they want this online tournament qualification. They want to get something for themselves at the very least this season. Missed out on Blast 6. They won't be missing out on DreamLeague Season 28. Aegis gonna go down. There were 20 more seconds on that anyway, so makes sense that Palos wanted it expended. Here comes the toss back. Troublesome now. Tossing the BKB. Palos needs to be able to pop that ultimate. Turns around, manages to do so. This is really bad news. Nowhere for Raven to run as Palos will chop him down and look for more. Silence up, but no one's stopping the troll. And now 23 is the one in trouble. Getting the blinds out. Nice spear back onto 2. They're running for the kills, but they're on the wrong side of the base. 23 will get chased down. He'll charge away into the fountain area. Under the tier 4s, just pressuring Jokum away from potentially helping Mac. And here comes Tino, ready with a spear. Walks back into it. Mac, not what you want to see from your Tiny, but the Yules is going to buy him precious time. Bob's not done. Looking for more. Might have been a mistake though. Here comes the toss. Mac, magic damage more than enough, and the charge coming through. Do they have enough to burst through Mac?
Don't
Again, the
get
defense
baited.
matrix.
They got baited by the Tinker.
They did. Mac, that's a buyback from him, so they really wanted the dieback. They're still pinging. They understand if they kill Mac, they will be able to just close out this game, but maybe Palos, the one making the call. Boys, we're out of gas. Let's just reset and go again.
Yeah, it seems like he's the one making the call because he was standing on high ground. He was like preparing to see if he can actually help his team. And then he turns back and everyone turns back, you know. I think that's a really, really good sign of maturity. They're not really taking risks whenever they don't have to take any risks. Just backing off, not giving away anything to their opponents and making sure that they don't throw the game.
Isn't this such a cool coming of age story? Because I know Palos has been in the scene for so long, but I think in the past, everyone used to think of him as this very erratic player, right? He'd have his highs, he'd have his lows. You never really knew what to expect with Palos. But then now he's become this captain figure, this really reliable head on his shoulders, and when you need someone to get you through the hard moments, I mean, all those clutch situations, he's just always clicking the right buttons, right place, right targets. Feels like you just can't fault this guy.
Yeah, you can't. I think he has been the best carry in the qualifiers so far. At least from the games we've watched, I think his performance shows a lot of maturity. Like the way he makes decisions about what items to get, especially the Luna game where he built Wind Waker, Swift Healing.
That's crazy.
That is something that you can only do if you have a certain amount of understanding about how to play the game, right? He realizes that they cannot really fight 5 versus 5, so he has to rap.
Dire are scanning.
Same level of understanding that got him to pick this troll in the game, and his positioning as well. He's always on the front lines. He knows that his team is ready to follow up. I mean, the way the Execration are moving, you gotta imagine that their team communications are just clean, right? There's barely anyone panicking. They all kind of seem to have a good idea about what's about to unfold.
Yeah, this all happened after the
Dragon-
disaster Dragon Knight game, yeah.
Dragon Knight privileges from Tino removed. Qualifier 1, boys.
Attack.
Yeah, I can't wait for some interviewer to ask him about his pipe use Dragon Knight.
It's a shame we don't have the interview after this series. If not, I would have definitely asked at least someone in the team. I'm sure the boys would like to flex a little bit. It's been a nice run through the upper bracket for them. Nemesis, like we said before, this is their last chance, but 17k gold lead. This game is falling very much into the same trend as we did in game number 3. It's just very limited options for Nemesis to really get anything done. Mac spotted. The vision lingering from the Spirit Breaker means Mac is going nowhere and can't even Yules himself out of that situation. It would have been toast either way.
Yeah, I think the early game just... Okay, the early game didn't go well for the Beasts. It's one problem. But after that, I think they have tools to solve the problem. I think they need the Tiny to move no matter what. He needs to leave the mid lane and let the Tinker defend the tower against the DK. I think if they did that, it would have allowed them options to play the map. The Tiny will just move with the Skyruff even though he doesn't have dagger. I mean, right now,
Bombs in with a stun. Jokum's just almost dead. Really big heal coming out from Zhao though. The charge still gonna come through. Shanks heads back to the safety of his team. Discipline is there like you said. But yeah, the options, they might have been available a bit earlier in the game as you say, Winter, but right now you're staring down a troll that just looks monstrous to deal with.
it has to be some toss back into the fountain to kill him.
Dire's middle barracks.
I don't know. Like, it's so
Fountain is
difficult.
crazy though.
Tier 4s, okay, Tier 4s. Toss back to the Tier 4s into a Raw. That's what happened the last time, but he had Aegis. Actually, it was after the Aegis. He got saved by the arena, and then he got his ulti off, and that was it. Yeah, you better leave the game, Tinker.
No, relax. What the hell?
Making Tinker
I
here.
can understand why they picked the Tinker, but okay. I can also understand why they picked the Skyref Mage, right? On paper, Beast and Sky, strong lane.
Everything is okay. It's just the way they played the game. I think there's definitely
Yeah.
a way to play the game with their lineup. They just didn't really realize it when the Beastmaster got shat on so much, right? By the
Yeah.
troll and the A, and also the SB TPing bottom to gank the Beastmaster. I think this is something that maybe you wouldn't read, you wouldn't expect that to happen twice in the early game. So you need to do something to rectify the situation, right? So I think the Tiny just has to vacate the mid lane. He needs to walk with the Sky to the beast lane or just play around the jungle there. So if anything happens, he can actually help him. And then Tinker can just take the XP in the mid lane. I think everyone's happy if they do that. They don't really need to forcefully wait for the dagger on Tiny to play the game, you know. I don't think that is actually necessary.
Yeah.
Because
I completely agree with you.
at that time, the 23 Spectre also had ulti, but he just had nothing to use his ulti on. Like, nobody is doing anything.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I think the point I was trying to make is just like with Jokum on the Skyref Mage, right? I feel like he's usually so good about finding his pairing and making things happen on the map. It just didn't really happen that way. Might be the final fight here. There could be a chance for Nemesis to pull something crazy off. Gonna get the vision with the Spectre ulti, jumping towards CML, but now 23 is in a rough spot. Jumps back over to Palos. They ping out the real Spectre, in comes Bob. Stunning up onto Mac. You still got a Glimmer, still got a Yules, but you don't have the vision is the problem. Mac's gonna be able to escape and oh. That's an uncomfortable pause. Makes sense though. Take a look at the way Zhao is moving. It's just, he's clearly not in the game. I think Mac should be able to get out of this just fine. They used the stun already. Bob did pop his BKB though. So this could be an opportunity for Nemesis if they reset. The only problem is they traded it for the Spectre ulti. So now you don't have that available. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether there's any way for them to stand their ground. I think at the very minimum, Jokum's probably dead. Because he's being charged right now by the Spirit Breaker.
Well, at least 2 heroes are gonna die.
Why'd you... Eric, why'd you do that? You worried we have nothing to top 4%.
4% is very generous.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's 0.
Nothing
Jeez.
beats a Dota 2 holiday. And right now, you can get up to 50 gold off per person.
That's how you know, actually. I think we've watched enough Execration. When Shanks is feeling like a game is in the bag, he pops that Gary B voice line out. That's how you know Shanks thinks they've already won. He very rarely throws that out in a losing game. When he's crushing, when he's owning, when his Bob is going sicko mode, that's when nothing beats a Dota 2 holiday.
Okay, the pause has created a temporary retreat for Execration. Pretty sure that would have gone in if it's not because of the pause.
Tino's dealing with some problems. And it's kind of a big deal, right? He needs to be the one on the front lines to stop this potential invasion from happening. If 23 can somehow sneak past him, Mac there with the stun as well, they might be able to clutch up and steal it away from Palos. So you gotta be real careful. Lotus Orb available on the Mars though. Should be able to dispel this silence and put the walls up if needed.
Correct.
Palos, he's been good in these moments before, but it's getting real tight. Toss back. Immediate burst through. That is cruel. Bullying the guy who just DC'd, and now Roche dropping low. Palos will get himself the Aegis, but it feels like you just need to retreat in this instance without your mask. Palos still trying to fight. They'll raw up Shanks, putting the damage in. Nice Storm from the Centaur. Toss back. Chain stun is there. But they've nullified up Mac on the sideline. Shanks trying to jump away and save CML. I don't think he'll be able to escape. Nice toss. I mean, Mac, he's been making the most out of this situation for sure. Stun on the... Oh, okay.
Might have
Palos
to buy back.
Buying back on mass. Palos popping the BKB, and the tail end of that ultimate lifesteal will save him there. Buying back on many, but the spear and the arena will punish 23 Savage thanks to the buybacks on both CML and Tino. I mean, everyone else gets out though.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good for Nemesis, I think. 2 kills, double buybacks, only losing your carry. This is actually quite annoying. But it still went down 1%. So Gaben says this is not good enough.
The thing is, you gotta imagine, not to blame this all on the disconnect, of course, but in the moment where Tino disconnected, it was right when he could have lotused himself and maybe pressed the spell before being tossed back and killed, right? So the fact that they got him on the first life, and okay, now has a buyback to even make it even, Sure, you're 50 seconds without the Spectre and you got yourself an Aegis, but even though it's 3%, kind of feel like maybe that's carved an opening a little bit for Nemesis to potentially do something. We're starting to see what happens when the Tiny goes unchecked as well, right? Toss after toss after toss. The backline is just in shambles because the magic damage is overwhelming.
Yeah, unlucky. What can you do? Bad time to DC.
Still 18k gold lead at the 13-minute mark though. Execration. Halo's still very much on top. See, looking at next, Disperser is the item selection. I thought we would see the Aghanim Scepter. I thought that was what the idea was here from the Troll Warlord.
It's owning too hard already. Doesn't really matter. I mean, the Aghanims is like nice to dispel the Tinker. The other heroes, there's nothing really much to dispel.
I guess so.
You can dispel the barrier, but it's not really needed. The sky barrier. The Shield of Zion.
Okay, real quick, without checking, what's the Skyref Mage innate ability name?
Ruin or something, right? I don't know. Ruins or something.
Ruin and Restoration. Which I just... Okay, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Hope Tino's okay here. A bit of a lukewarm end to this game if that's how it happens. Where Tino's disconnecting back. I'm sure there's a degree of restlessness as well on Nemesis, right? They
Yeah, I mean the
have
game
such
is
a big...
the game is like close to being over, and then this happens. I think
Yeah.
it probably affects Execration more because Nemesis is like they have nothing to lose. They're already in such a shitty position. It's like whatever, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit weird. Hope Tino's okay. From what I understand, they're all in the same boot camp or facility anyway. So it's weird that it's happening to
What,
Tino's
he's getting
PC
DDoS? Only one
don't
PC?
I mean, the one thing that he said is that it was some Steam issue with his account. So maybe it's an account thing. I don't know.
No, that's never happened to me.
That's because you're upstanding, fine gentleman who doesn't build pipe yules on your DK. You do some shit like that.
Maybe that is precisely why it's happening to him. Yeah? Have you ever thought about that?
They have to punish him for his transgressions. I feel like from now on, every time we cast Tino, you're just gonna bring that up again. Like you're never gonna let that shit go. I feel
it's never gonna be the same, man. Yule's Pipe Dragonite. You think you've seen everything?
How many years have you been casting at this point, Winter? Have you ever seen Yule's Pipe Dragonite? Has that ever been a thing?
No, bro. Definitely no. Like, what the hell? Like, who does that? His build looks like he was playing Underlord. I think if you play Underlord...
Oh, true. Yeah, that would be nice.
It makes sense. He's back. He's back to end the game.
All right, Tino. Okay, so just in case you're just joining us for whatever reason at this very late hour in Southeast Asia, we are looking like we're at the tail end of this best of 5. This is DreamLeague Season 28's close qualifiers for Southeast Asia. Nemesis, they had a really long run through the lower bracket, defeated everybody in long-ass games. They had 80-minute wins, 70-minute wins, 60-minute wins, and just earlier today, we saw them dispatch Kukuis in some pretty tight games as well. To make it all the way here to the grand finals, had a great first game. Maybe some might say at the fault of Execration shooting themselves in the foot with a weird build. But then, ever since then, it feels like Execration has just been back in their usual form. Nemesis are struggling to find anything on the map, and a large part of it is because Execration, they've kind of identified a weakness, right? If you keep Mac down or keep Mac idle, the rest of the team just doesn't really get together and do much.
Were they actually keeping him idle? I felt like he chose to be idle.
Maybe he was scared. And I mean, understandably so.
Yeah, I don't exactly agree if the Dragonite just force him to be there. I don't really think he needed to be there.
Sure.
Like, he just felt like he needed to be there, but in reality, he could have just left.
Yeah. You gotta keep in mind this is basically his 7th professional game of the day. The tiredness starts to set in. I think between the series, maybe they had like 15-20 minutes to maybe grab a bite, but I wouldn't be surprised if these boys haven't even had a proper meal yet today other than breakfast. So definitely the fatigue aspect is something to be considered.
What about the breakfast of champions? You only need the breakfast of champions to get you through the day. It's one big breakfast.
Well, not everyone has your eating habits, Winter.
What do you mean my eating habits?
I mean, aren't you telling me non-stop about how you only eat dinner every day? Smoke, this might be the game ender here. Pylos spotting out Joker. I'm trying to TP out. That's not gonna happen, buddy. Jumping in is 23 Savage, trying to find the backline, look for CML, but he just doesn't have the damage. You buy back on Jokum now, but 23 is in a very compromising position. Saved by Zhao at the moment, but huge arena locking in Raven and locking in 23. The magic damage, it's threatening Shanks, but it's just not enough. Ice Blast is there. They toss the Spectre out, but he still dies anyway. As Shanks, he's stopped by the Defender's Gate, but that's not the main event. It's Palos on your front lines, cutting you all to bits. GG Grats is called, and Nemesis, they'll tap out. Happy birthday, Boss B. What a great birthday gift for the boss of Execration to see them qualify into DreamLeague Season 28. GGs are called. Execration will take this series 3-1 over Nemesis.
Yep, what a journey Execration had this qualifier. I think they came in maybe not